Hi, it's Esther here today.
And it's Ben manning the camera.
And today we're going to talk about some hacks because we want to make sure that you're really set up in the kitchen. And I hear a lot of you saying you haven't talked about bread, you haven't, talked about a lot of basic things. So today we want to cover bread substitutes, okay? We are all very addicted to bread, so I just want to get you thinking outside the box and show you some amazing ways you can swap out your bread with lateral moves. So here I have peppers. You will notice that these fit together to make a very nifty storage compartment to house your sandwich. So you can put hummus inside, and you can put these inside your kids' lunch boxes. You can put hummus inside, you can put turkey, you can put tomatoes, you can put avocado, you can do so many great things. You can even put a little bacon, however you want it. Just start to think about using this or even as an open face sandwich because it's quite filling. It takes a long time to chew. So it's another great way to get colors in, and kids won't even realize they're just naturally eating vegetables. Now, another thing that we do in our house is use lettuce to wrap up anything we'd put in a sandwich. Same thing, hummus, turkey, roasted vegetables, whatever it is that you desire, leftover chicken. When we make tacos, I usually will wrap things in lettuce leaves. So you could put pork belly and you could put portobello mushroom. You can put anything your heart desires and you just wrap it up, and it makes, again, a lovely taco tortilla, and everything stays in place. And when we go out to Korean barbecue, this is exactly what we do. We put rice and meat inside the lettuce. It's delicious. Okay, let's talk about bread substitutes. So this is our local baker. It is Wave Hill Farms, and this is a sourdough starter. The recipe is 100 years, the starter is actually 100 years old. So they soak their grains. They are organic. They are ground on site. And so this is a very nutritious bread. Now, it does have wheat, but the way it is prepared, and because it is organic and it doesn't contain any Roundup, we find that we tolerate it much, much, much better than any regular bread. Another thing is, these are Siete, the same brand that make those chips. These are almond flour tortillas, and they contain almond flour, tapioca flour, water, sea salt, and xanthan gum. Now, if you're allergic to almonds, this also comes in a coconut flour, coconut and cassava flour wrap. It is delicious. I experimented for years making my own tortillas, and I found that these are thinner and they hold together a little better. They don't break. They're really solid. And Ben, you tried them and you love them too.
Oh yeah, they're much better. No offense.
They're much better. These are a little expensive. They're $8 or $9 for a pack. So we use them judiciously, but man, if you just want some eggs in a tortilla in the morning, this is it. Now, why aren't I encouraging you to use regular corn tortillas? Because commercially available corn tortillas are GMO, and my stomach hurts after every time I use them. So I don't use corn tortillas. I find that they're just not a clean source of food.
They are hard to digest also.
Yeah. So now, also a couple things we forgot to mention. Since we are a gluten dairy-free house, we found Kite Hill makes a plain cream cheese. And this is made with almonds. And it's incredibly delicious. It's just made with soaked almonds. So it's absolutely delicious. Maybe a little salt. And that's it. And it has the look and the flavor of real cream cheese. It's absolutely delicious. So again, I like to dip vegetables in it. Ben can find gluten-free bagels. He puts that on there with a little smoked salmon, and he's just
so true.
Happier than a pig in mud. Now we have here, this is what we use for our hard cheese, or we use it to sprinkle if we have some pasta. And that's also really good. Okay, hold the fort, Ben. I'm gonna get some of our gluten-free pasta. I meant to add that to the mix also. So stay tuned, everybody. Hang on.
Into the pantry of awesomeness.
Okay, so here we have, this is our Banza pasta that we use. It has 25 grams of protein, 13 grams of fiber. It has 43 grams of net carbs, which is the carbs that that are left after you deduct the fiber content. But they're non-GMOs. They definitely have a strong flavor, but the consistency is just like regular pasta, and we put a meat sauce on it. in a marinara. It's absolutely delicious. And they come in spirals, and they come in shells. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a huge pasta person, okay? But every now and then, you know, if a family's having it, I'll either have zoodles, zucchini noodles, you'll have spaghetti squash noodles, or I'll have these. And it's just really fun to feel like I'm part of the family. And we grate and put this cheddar cheese on top. So totally doable. Okay, last but not least, let's slide over to our container section. Something it's really important to do, and something that I did a couple years ago, was cleaned out all of the plastic from our pantry and our cabinets, because when you store food in plastic, that plastic can leach into your food, and that's why you're always instructed to never heat foods in a microwave in plastic. You're always instructed to heat them in glass. So what I did was I probably spent, you know, a couple weeks just going to different stores. I went to Walmart, I went to TJ Maxx, I went to Costco, Marshall's, you know, and looked on Amazon for deals and just got all sorts of lovely, lovely glass containers. Now, what's the advantage of these? Many things. Number one, glass is chemically inert, so it doesn't leach into your foods. Number two, I can move these containers literally from the freezer into the stove and cook. And they're this lovely stable glass. They don't break. And then from there, you know where I put them? I put them in the dishwasher so I don't have to hand wash them. Whereas when we had plastic dishes, I didn't like putting them in the dishwasher. I didn't trust they wouldn't melt or further leach into our foods. So why is this important? Because plastics in our foods disrupt our hormones. This is why we're seeing boys and girls develop at a very early age or prematurely, and the body can't differentiate or recognize the plastics from our own hormones, but they do block the receptor sites at the cellular level. So for example, if you're eating food that is stored in a plastic container, you can be having an estrogenic effect in your bloodstream, where the plastics, the chemicals get in your bloodstream, they get in your cells, and they block your own estrogen or testosterone from reaching the receptor site. And so you've all this excess estrogen floating around the system. That is a bad thing for you. It's really not good for the human body. So you reduce your exposure to plastics, you can get, hang on, a metal water bottle. This is ours from Clean Canteen. This is very well loved and beat up. I've had it for years. Okay, so we store our water in metal bottles, metal drinking bottles. We store our food in glass. Now, some of the food you'll see, this is exposed to plastic. Okay, it's not perfect.
It's also in the fridge.
Yes, but it's never hot. We don't heat anything in the plastic. Okay, so start to be mindful. Reduce your exposure to plastics. Think about other substitutes for regular bread, and you're on track to amazing health. Thanks.